Hi everyone, this is Kona, and we are going to go through how to do a chi-square test using Minitab. So our claim for this one is, is there a relationship between gender and the importance of religion? So is there a relationship between gender and the importance of religion? So the first thing we do is check our assumptions. So independent, we're just going to assume yes. This is just another one of those, unless it says differently, let's just assume yes. Is our expected frequency greater than 5 or observed frequency greater than 10? We're actually going to check this later, so just hold tight for this one. We write the original claim, so there is a relationship between gender and religion, so there is a relationship. So is it the null or alternative? It is the alternative because we're saying there is a relationship, so that is an alternative. And remember, if it's an alternative, we're going to end up supporting it. If it was null, we would reject. Then which tail? Well, here it is. Remember, whenever we're doing a chi-square, it's always going to be a right-tailed. Always. Right-tailed tests or chi-squares are always right-tailed tests, and that's because they are the advanced. So any advanced test is always right-tailed. So moving along, let's calculate the appropriate statistics using Minitab. So let's just go ahead and go down to Minitab. All right, the date personality is whether or not you would date someone with a good personality even if they you didn't find them attractive. The gender is whether or not the person is male or female. And religion is basically how important religion is to you, not important, fairly important, or very important. Okay, so for this one, we're using gender and religion. And so the thing here, between the male and the female, or the gender and the religion, is why can we do a chi-square with this one? So why are we doing a chi-square instead of a 2 proportion? Because technically we could have done a 2 proportion, right? Well, no, and that's because religion has 3 different levels or 3 different answer options. The not important, fairly important, and very important. Because it has 3 answer options or 3 levels, that makes it an advanced test. So even though it's categorical, it's still an advanced test, which makes it a chi-square instead of the 2 proportion. So how do we actually do this test? We're going to go up to Stat. This time we're going to go down to Tables, and we're going to do the cross-tabulation chi-square. All right, so now for rows and columns. In general, and you do want the raw data, the categorical variables. So in general, for your rows, you normally pick the one with the fewer options. You don't have to do this, but it just makes your table look prettier. So we're going to go ahead and do gender for this one. And then for your columns, we're going to do the one with more, which is religion. We don't use layers or frequencies. Then in the chi-square box, so what we're going to do, check the chi-square test, and then you want the expected cell counts. And that's what we're going to actually use to double check that expected frequency. So click OK. And if you want, you can ask for these, but you don't really need it. So you can just go ahead and click OK. So what are we checking here? So for this one, we're looking at, this is our observed, and here are our expected. So if you remember from our handout, we want to know, are our expected frequencies greater than 5? So for here, let's just make sure all of our expected frequencies, are they greater than 5? Yep. Are these greater than 5? Yep. Okay, so we're good to go. We actually went ahead now and met this criteria right here. So all of our assumptions are good. So even though we're down here, we met those. So we are good. The next thing we're going to look at, so there's observed, expected, are the Pearson chi-square. We don't worry about the likelihood ratio stuff. So what we're going to look at is the Pearson chi-square value, which is the 0.013, our degrees of freedom, which is 2, and then that p-value, which is 0.994. So that p-value is pretty high. And remember, normally if it's a high p-value, it's going to be an is not, meaning there is not enough evidence, meaning there's not a lot going on. So remember, low p-value, something's going on, there's something happening with the data. High p-value, nothing's happening, nothing interesting. So for step 4, is there enough evidence? Well, p is equal to 0.994. That is greater than 0.05, so it's an is not. There is not enough evidence. So there is not enough evidence to And remember, it's alternative because it is a relationship alternative, so we're going to support. So there is not enough evidence to support the claim that gender and importance of religion are related. So basically, what does that mean? It means there's no relationship. There's nothing between gender and religion, or importance of religion. And that's kind of your real world from your decision here. I hope this helps, and that's how to do chi-square test using Minitab.